Welcome to the Grace-Based Christian Coaching Podcast. I'm Alexandra Cavill, certified professional coach and the founder of Grace-Based Christian Coaching. GSCC serves ambitious women in leadership who are struggling with limiting beliefs and overwhelm and are wanting to live out their life and purpose with confidence and clarity in a faith-based way. So Friday favorites, what is that? What are we here to talk about? It is a weekly series where I share the scoop on what I am loving lately, lessons that I've learned over the past week, and what I'm looking forward to so that you can get a behind the scenes of what life looks like, both personally and professionally, and what that actually what it looks like as I'm myself living out my most intentional and Christ-centered life too. All right, so let's get into it. First, loving lately. All right, so y'all, we didn't catch up together last week, but it was for great reason. We were enjoying spring break with the family. The girls had a week off, so we had play dates galore, adventures, so many fun things. I adore what I do here, the work at GSCC, but it was also very much a treat to give permission to be fully present and completely unplugged on most days that week. We also got away, mini beach vacation, and as you can probably still hear, got sick too, because that's just part of it, and am working on getting better and fully healthy again. But it was a really special trip. It was a really special week because we have gone on so many, I would say more mini vacations with extended family quite a bit, and have so much fun doing that. But we were thinking about it, and this may have been the first time away with just the five of us, which was extra sweet and special and appreciated. And it just got me thinking, like, things like this, especially with young kiddos, it takes so much planning and coordination and time and energy. But it's worth it. Like, it's always worth it. When every year without fail, my husband and I will do an inventory of what our year looked like, things we're excited about, what we had learned, and then what we want to do for the next year based on that. And without fail, every single time the trips or getaways like this stands out. Like, we grew as a family, we grew individually, we grew together. So if you are on the fence about doing something, or even kind of thinking, well, I don't know, what if, like, yes, make it happen. It is worth it. It matters. Okay, I've had a pinch me moment. The women who come into GSCC, y'all are driven, ambitious, like elite, just such wonderful human beings who love the Lord. And one of the my longer term clients, she's from across the globe over in Australia, but I was and it just blows my mind. We got connected. Her message to me came in through a junk mail folder that I randomly looked at the right time before it got deleted and passed back. So all that to say, maybe you're having a hard time seeing the Lord in something in your life, and just remember, use testimony that He truly, intricately weaves things together perfectly in His timing. I was chatting with another lady, and had shared something about a story of working together with another client for an extended period of time. And she was saying that she plans and intends to and would love to be one of those 5+ year gals herself, because she's already seeing so much growth in her life and in her business, particularly financial growth, hitting goals, making changes that just were out of reach for a really long time. Her faith is growing sustainably, consistently. There's just, I'm sharing this, y'all, there's so much hope when you find the right type of support, the right method for you. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's truly so fun. And one more thing about loving lately, speaking of, okay, I yesterday evening took mahjong lessons with a friend. You gotta let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram at Grace-Based Christian Coaching. Are you doing it too? Well, what do you think? Did you love it? Was it not for you? If you're into it, when did it click and you really picked it up? I would just love to chat about it. And I gotta say, at first, it almost reminded me of the craze, if you will, of sourdough. I'm interested, I'm intrigued, I want to learn more. But when I took a class for that, I remember thinking wow. Granted, I'm not a chef by any means. It's just not my forte. We all have different types of strengths. But I remember thinking wow, this is so much harder than I expected or anticipated. And that came back as I was in this class yesterday, and I was so close to coming into lessons learned for a minute. I was so close to saying, like, this isn't for me. Nope, not for me, pass. But to be honest, like, reflecting back a couple hours later, like, that really kind of shook me. Because as an entrepreneur, you are growing, you are learning all of the time, right? Like, if you know, like, it is entrepreneurship is a crash course in some way in personal development. Like, you gotta move and you gotta do it and you gotta do it quick and face some really hard things fast. And so new and hard is relatively common. You know, I had 3 children in under 3 years, right? Like, I can do hard things. But I was surprised at how quickly and easily I wanted to check out in the beginning, when all of a sudden it just like felt like too much too fast. But I kept going. And technically was the first winner at our table, which was so much fun. It felt so good, so good. And last night, after the class, I was looking back. We didn't really go over like a formal teaching or set of notes, but she had 11 flip charted pages of notes. And I'm gonna flip through these. And you know what? I knew about 70% of them. And it reminded me of this quote that feelings aren't facts. So in the class, at several points, I felt beyond lost, like really I did, but kept going. I kept going in part because there was a teacher, because there was a guide, because there were a community of other people, because there was a group of women who this was new to before. They were helpful, they were encouraging. Like, what would it look like to create an environment for you to thrive in learning something new? And what could you do to lean into that? What would it look like to take the time to get uncomfortable with something? I know y'all, I love y'all so much. And so many of y'all are all or nothing type of women that, you're like, I don't want to do it if I can't do it perfectly or can't do it 110%. But think about all that you are missing out on. Think about that. Like, be honest with yourself for a second. What would it look like to grow humbly? And think about, what is your goal? Like, is it perfection? And how do you feel about that? Is your goal growth? What actually is most important to you? Think about that, right? Like, is the way you're operating in alignment with what in fact matters most? The legacy you want to leave, the person that the Lord is calling you to be. Take the time to go back and reflect where you were and how drastically different it is to where you are today. And if it's not, that's okay. But let that be a nudge to try something different, explore something new, invest in support, and celebrate where you were versus where you are. This is what we do in coaching. This is what we do. And that is why I bake in time in clients' midpoint sessions and the final coaching session too, to notice and to see where you were and where you are, because so many of us are go, 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 boom, 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 on to the next. And to spend some time recognizing can actually really be a powerful gift, because it gives you momentum. You can see evidence that change is possible and what that looks like for you. And it's really encouraging. Last but not least, looking forward to, oh my goodness, tomorrow, today, next week, lots and lots of collaboration meetings, networking meetings, for things that are going on for you in the business to help to make GSCC an even more powerful place of Christ-centered growth, but also for me, so that I can lead from the front and do the work, so that I can be the best possible coach for you. So there's so many things coming up, and I'm energized by connecting with people, right? Like, that is the biggest way that GCC has experienced massive growth and momentum. I'll link up to episodes, but in 2025, we tripled in number of clients served. And I share about how God did that and the strategies that I use to create sustainable growth if you are in a season of momentum yourself. So think about, what could it look like to get outside of your own space, get connected in communities so that you can support one another, share new concepts and ideas, and hold each other accountable, because there's nothing quite like that. Y'all, it's so fun to chat. Subscribe to the Grace-Based Christian Coaching email family if you haven't already, gracebaskedchristiancoaching.com/subscribe. You'll receive a mini training when you do that, a 15-minute from overwhelmed to overjoyed course where you'll experience a taste of Christ-centered coaching. And like I had mentioned, I'm working behind the scenes on some fun freebies to get your way, and those are going to be gifted to y'all who are in the email family. So thank you for being here. Happy Friday. I will see you next week.